Real fake news.
Welcome to NewsBiscuit, the UK's original fake news. NewsBiscuit, 30 minutes of podcast, 30 years of therapy. I'm your host, Rrenfoe, and I'm joined by 4 new COVID variants. Simon P. Miller.
That's me.
You just say hello. Hello's fine.
Sorry. Hello.
Yeah, it's not a checkpoint where I'm identifying you. Where are your papers, Simon? I feel like Priti Patel just kind of turning you away at the start of the episode.
I'm quitting now. That's it. I'm quitting.
We've got Trevor Rudge.
Hi.
We've got Mrs. Wrenfoe.
Hello.
And we've got Kit Caboodle.
Hello.
This month, Adele finally released her new album, or Decree Nicey, as we call it. While MPs complained about having a second job, having to be an NP. So that brings us to our first round, News in Brief, where our panelists select their favourite headlines without a hint of an apology. Kit Caboodle, let's start with you. What do you have?
My old man didn't fight in World War II just so I'd be forced into having COVID jabs, says total moron.
There's this strange thing that people default to, don't they? If they feel that in any way their personal freedoms and liberties are being impinged, they immediately evoke World War II or World War One, which seems a bit extreme. I'm sure we were fighting Nazis, but it turns out we were fighting against inconvenience, which of course invaded Poland straight away.
COP26 delegates shocked as Planet Earth says, I don't need saving. Asked about the threat of global warming, extreme weather or nuclear winter, Earth's response was a matter of fact, bring it on.
COP's not going to save anything, is it? Not really. It was a bit of a cop out. Good cop, bad cop. Yeah, all those various other versions of those things. But it was a very strange affair where extremely rich people flew in on private jets to tell the rest of us that we need to stop flying around in private jets. And I'm pretty sure I haven't got one. It was a strange gaslighting experience. Gaslighting and oil lighting as well, I guess is the other phrase.
UK, not a corrupt country, says man in charge of corrupt MPs.
Say it loud enough, it becomes true. It's like even fairies, even fairies.
It's kind of British exceptionalism, isn't it? We don't think that we're as terrible as everywhere else.
You don't wake up with a dead horse in your bed, do you?
Is that the difference? It's dead livestock. Is the only difference between us and the rest. Although didn't David Cameron do something involving a pig's head, I seem to recall? Was that what Boris was alluding to in his Peppa Pig speech? He was just kind of, I've been riding on Peppa Pig. Soon after David finished with her. Yes. Anyway, that's horrendous. That's not going to make the final edit. I tell you that now. There are children that listen to this show.
Bric-a-brac shortage threatens school Christmas fairs. Importers say this year is the worst they can remember, and taken with other shortages of knickknacks and whatnots, means the curio market is in crisis.
One of the greatest side effects of the pandemic, and I am a born optimist, has been the lack of shite my kids have brought back from their respective schools, because there used to be this hellish scenario where the school would run what they described as a really fun Christmas fair and a chance for children to buy gifts for the people in their life that they love. And really what it is a chance for your children to buy shit to fill up your house with. I will never forget the year that my daughter came back and she said, Mummy, I love you so much. I've brought you this to show how much I love you. And she gifted me a plush Ghostbusters toy, which I think says so much.
I mean, I know you're complaining about our daughter there, but she did one year she brought back what looks like a Versace handbag. And we're like, well. and the thing is, it looks legit. I mean, it looks very nice. And it actually looks legit. I wonder if some kid donated it. You know, when they say to kids, go find stuff around your parents' house and then take it into school. And they've lifted it from their mum's closet. And so, yeah, our kid paid 10p for it.
Yeah, is it possible that someone went to that fair and just put their handbag down on a stall?
That could be it as well.
Knowing my daughter, that is eminently possible. In fact, there's possibly a warrant out for us right now, and this is very awkward given this has been publicly aired.
Worse still is that they come back with another child who just He just had to be loitering beside one of the tables. We paid 50p for him. He says his name's Michael.
Next time, come back with an Audi Q7 or something.
Yes, yeah. Don't go into the hall. Stay in the car park and grab the nearest vehicle you can find.
Are you thinking of swingers parties there? It's not like car keys in a bowl.
And on that note, Simon, what have you got for us in terms of headlines?
Man caught in jewellers at 2 a.m. was putting the clocks back. Man proud to support Royal British Legion by recycling 20-year-old poppy.
With 2 children who like to wear poppies, I feel like I might have single-handedly funded the British Legion over the years, because I swear pretty much every day, it's Poppy Day. It's been Poppy Day for 10 days straight. How is it still Poppy Day? We need another pound. A pound? Poppy's gone up since I was a child. That's all I'm saying.
Funding poppy fields in Afghanistan, it's different.
They are getting round it though. They're starting to put the years on the enamel ones. You've got to watch out.
That's outrageous. That's not why my grandparents fought in the war, that I'd be found out for being a tight ass.
Man who had sex with Edwina Curry claims current government's actions are shameful.
I joke with Mrs. Rudge about this, but it's very true that the one political event in my lifetime that has shocked me the most was John Major having sex with Edwina Curry. It's the one I just couldn't predict it. And even after the event, I still can't visualize it. I can't see how it happened. I don't see how the parts fit together. It blows my mind.
Help, why are you trying to visualize John Major having sex?
It's the only way I could delay an orgasm, or it's the only way I can have an orgasm. It goes both ways. It's mysterious. There's something about John Major. It's something about a man with no pigmentation that arouses me beyond belief.
I think we've all learned something tonight, is all I'm saying.
We've learned why my marriage is on the rocks. I couldn't see them being together. He seemed so sexless, and she seemed so
too sexy.
She seemed too sexy. Yes. And you're right, you've nailed it there. And Edwina Curry was far too sexy. You tell younger kids today, they don't understand, but you say she was the Kim Kardashian of her day. I just did it make cabinet meetings really awkward? Where there's this kind of long, these moments where everyone would just go quiet, and those two would be looking at each other, and then there's all the other kind of ministers of state just kind of shuffling nervously in their chairs, going, "God, I hope I'm not next." He's taking one for the team. Please don't let him find me attractive.
Yeah, we're assuming it's true. I mean, they may have just made it up because he had a reputation for being very boring, didn't he?
PR.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Curry's PR wasn't great, so maybe they just made it up. Maybe, I don't think they did, actually.
That would have to be one of those 90s PR consultants that you hired that off their face on cocaine, where they thought Edwina Curry was the way to sort of jazz up your image. It's you think, God, can I not just wear a slightly different, tie? Can I not just, change my hair a little bit? No, you're going to have an affair with Edwina Curry. Really? Is it, okay.
Well, from her point of view, she was known as the Salmonella lady, wasn't she? So Salmonella or having an affair with John Major, it's a close call, isn't it?
Sorry, I have to interrupt this podcast to ask, why was she known as the Salmonella lady? There must be a story behind
that is Mrs. Rudge being sneaky. Mrs. Rudge is trying to show how young she is in relation to the rest of us by pretending she doesn't know what that is. That is awful.
I want to know the story. Ignore Rudge. Tell me the story. Why is she known as Salmonella lady?
Well, she was, I think she was in charge of agriculture and fisheries at the time. And she just came out saying, all eggs have got salmonella. And that kind of just ruined the egg industry overnight.
Is that the reason why my mum never let me lick raw cake batter from the spoon?
or lick John Major, for that matter.
We've all forgotten that now.
Yes, and Mrs. Wrenfoe particularly, because she's so terribly young.
Yes,
Right.
Man who doesn't write for NewsBiscuit buys NewsBiscuit ebook on Amazon.
That seems an unlikely set of events. I'll be honest.
I might have slipped that one in.
You're making your own jokes up there, sorry.
Would I?
Yeah, well, that's a lovely plug because it's Christmas coming up, and we do have a book out called Five Go Dobbing in the Neighbours. And you're absolutely right. The only people who are going to buy it are the writers, and the only people who are going to have to read it are all the family members who think, "Oh, this is a nice weighty present," and then they unwrap it. They go, "Oh no."
Scientists confirm best time to go to bed is about 2 hours ago.
That fits with being a grown-up, doesn't it? Where literally all I ever do as a grown-up is either talk to people about how tired I am or think about how tired I will be at some point soon. That's literally what being a grown-up is. That is my actual life.
Yeah, I'll back her up on that. That is about 40% of our marriage chat is just that, documenting the tiredness of Mrs. Rudge. There's a spreadsheet and everything. I think I'm quite good. If I feel a bit tired, I will go to bed. I will do that, regardless of what the hour is. But Mrs. Rudge, you'll resolutely stay up no matter what. You're still fighting it, aren't you? I'm not going to bed before 9 o'clock. I'm an adult.
I don't like being sent to bed. So the moment somebody says to me, you must be tired, I'm like, no, let's party till 3 a.m. Tired? What? I'm not tired. I am still a 5-year-old child at heart.
Yes. Trevor, over to you.
Carbon dating latest. Chemist sleeps with fossil.
Nice.
Bravo, Trevor, you're a worthy winner. That was excellent.
And of course, last month we lost one of the greats, and we lost Lionel Blair, and it was invading Iraq was Lionel's idea, reveals younger brother Tony.
That is the kind of shady shit that Tony Blair would pull, isn't it? Blaming it on a fictitious brother.
It goes on, it says, Lionel Blair was responsible for the British decision in 2003 to invade Iraq, based on a shared interest in tap dancing, jazz and genocide. His younger brother Tony has announced, I realised it was the most difficult decision my big brother had to make, apart from turning down the role in 8.5 Hot Mum. Wanted, pilot for TARDIS. Please, no time wasters.
That's excellent. I like that.
That's a bit of a delayed reaction. That's excellent.
Oh, it won't be in the edit. In the edit, we'll be laughing dead on cue. There's no delayed reactions here. Thank you very much.
Bank of England to save money by closing its only branch.
You see, you have to think about that, not because it's not a clever joke, but most of us don't really understand what the Bank of England is. And we're like, oh, is there only one? Oh, there is only one. Oh.
Yeah, and they've not gone online either. So it's
no, they haven't. Can you imagine their hole in the wall? It's just like big lumps of gold bullion just flying out, like coming out like syrup, and it's just you're gonna have to catch it in your hands. It's melted gold. Okay, you can't see on Zoom. Kit's looking at me like I'm.
I was just
completely
how
lost it.
That would be because of the melted hands, and then that was.
Oh my God! Yes, it's got worse. Yeah, yes. All right, it's hot melted gold, and yeah, you're burning, but your greed is making you grab it more, and it becomes this horrible metaphor. And it's like some scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory got cut, where the greedy children get melted to death by Oompa Loompas. Yeah. Okay.
Well, this got dark quickly.
Is that the Quentin Tarantino version?
This is a weird fact I discovered recently, but the Bank of England actually owns a third of the debt, the national debt.
I like the idea that they actually keep the national debt in a room. So it's this big empty chamber. And it's like the Emperor's New Clothes. Look at all the debt that we have. Well, it's marvellous. Someone's stolen the debt. How would you know?
With that segue, I did think you were going to say something about how the Bank of England is actually run by Oompa Loompas. I was a little...
Great if there were songs as well. I mean, I feel like my overdraft might be quite a high percentage of it. I'd always feel guilty when they talk about the national debt, because I'm like, shit, that's me, isn't it? I am the national debt. That is my overdraft. I don't know what percentage of that national debt I am, but I feel like it would be a high number. So yeah, if Oompa Loompas,
I think it's like at least 42%.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're doing your bit.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just looking after it, I'd feel a bit better, I think. Yeah.
COP26 latest. Jeff Bezos donation rumoured to be just Amazon gift cards.
Oh.
Actually, knowing him, he'd gift the Amazon. He'd go, yes, we're just going to burn the fucker down. I need an even bigger spaceship. He's such a strange fellow. They're all strange, these billionaires. We all knew they were sort of terrible people and evil, but we didn't know they'd go full sort of James Bond villain evil and go to fly off in a spaceship and create some sort of secret base on the other side of the moon. I mean, apart from anything, that's quite cliche, isn't it?
Not very original, is it? You know, you think they could have come up with something a little bit better, you know, a time machine or something. You know,
yeah, I expect Elon Musk to go, I could have paid my taxes, but instead I've got this big shark tank.
I hope they have theme tunes like people like Bezos and Elon Musk. I hope like in the what are those films with that man? And this is how bad I am with films. The man, James Bond. There we go.
I just referenced him 2 seconds ago. How can we not be remembering that? That's not you bad with names and faces. That's you bad with like time.
Yeah, and talking and stuff. Yeah. I hope they have, but I do hope they have their own theme tune like them, because if I was a villain, I would totes have a theme tune. Think about that a lot, to be honest.
It would just be probably my name over classic TV themes, like it'd be like Jeff Bezos, do Jeff Bezos. It'd be like that all the time.
I like the idea that there's everyone gets a theme tune, but it's not you that chooses your own theme tune. Everyone chooses it for you. So it's how the rest of the world sees you. Someone said they can't see Boris Johnson without hearing the music from the movie, the black and white movie, The Third Man. That plays in their head every time they see Boris walk along. And I thought, that's great. That speaks to a different kind of level. And yeah, all the billionaires would have sort of Jaws-like theme music.
No, I would have the Jaws theme tune. I'd already decided. Wouldn't that be great to just like walk into a room and it'd be like
it's good make-out music. I always think the Jaws theme tune. Actually, this is off topic, but me and Mrs. Rudge, we went to see the play in the West End, the shark that broke, or the shark.
Is it good?
It's really good.
So good, and it's so funny, and I cried so much. And
she's the only person who cries because the shark died.
Spoiler alert.
I won't go now. Start saving money.
Amazing. Are you going to keep this in as like a free plug for the play?
Yeah, and we'll tell them we plugged it, and then I'll link them in on social media, and then they'll have to promote us at the same time.
Yeah, they retweeted me, and if they retweet me, they'll probably retweet anybody. Let's be honest.
They're that desperate. The only thing I would say is, I mean, I also went with a bunch of what we describe as younger people, ne'er-do-wells between the ages of sort of 16 and 19, and no one that age has seen Jaws, it turns out, which is very strange.
I feel like Jaws has actually been referenced a lot in the pandemic. Like the mayor from Jaws was a meme that I saw pretty much once a week.
Yeah, but I don't know whether they then understood the meme. Were they just going, yes, it's just a mayor of a small American town. What's your point? Okay, but there's Jaws and the sharks and things. He's having a tough time, this mayor, dealing with the administration of running a... that's a bit odd, that one. Yes, okay, thank you. We completely went off topic there. Sorry about that. But yeah, if that plug does stay in, we might just keep the whole show just as that, us plugging that show, and other West End shows as well. And if they want to send us free tickets,
would be happy to go on stage, whether they want me to or not. I would be willing to do that. I'm just putting out. I could sing the Jaws theme tune in that play. I'd be really good.
Yeah, we got a lot of out of work actors and writers in working for NewsBiscuit. So yeah, this isn't just promoting the shows. We're saying, give us a job, is what we're saying. Sorry,
Jaws needs more jokes.
So, yes,
that's what it needs.
That's the one thing you leave that cinema experience thinking, I didn't laugh enough. Where was the humour? The shark seems so dead behind the eyes.
Younger people than us who watch Airplane don't get the opening gag.
You're so right.
You're assuming they've watched Airplane. I'm now of the opinion that everyone who's a teenager knows nothing before the year 2000, and that worries me a little bit because they won't know about Edwina Curry, and they won't know to watch out when John Major comes for them with that little beady look in his eye. They're just going to go, and even the Jaws music in the background as he comes towards them won't be a warning because they won't know what the context of the Jaws music song is. Oh no, it's terrible. Yes,
we're making this really painful for you to edit, aren't we? Because this is going to be about 3 hours worth.
Mrs. Rudge, we've only just got round to you.
Shit. My life.
This is, guys, I hope no one's got anything booked between now and midnight because this is so far the longest show we've ever done. Right, Mrs. Rudge, what about you?
I don't think this one works in text, so I don't know what I'm going to say. I mean, maybe it works if you've got like a year 6 child going through their SATs. Sheep arrested for illegal gambling.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking if you have to explain a joke.
I thought that was going to be really difficult, and I was going to have to do some like cryptic crossword clue in my head.
No, it's not like the kids' homework when I literally have to Google everything. I mean, how did parents parent before Google came along? I think this every single day. How were babies made? Who knew until Football asks cricket, can we have our racism back? What the fuck is wrong with people? Can we swear on this, Rudge? Well, I had just what the fuck is wrong with, like, it makes me so livid. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, that's funny. Yes, well done. Your moral outrage I approve of, obviously, but
Johnson impregnates medical staff using elbow. I refer you back to my Googling of how our baby's made. And maybe is it linked to his mask wearing? Does he think a mask is like a condom? Is that why he's not wearing one, so that he can spread his feed?
Yes.
That's what it is.
I think he doesn't have sex the way normal people do. I think he pollinates. I think he just sort of or from the hair. The hair sort of goes all fuzzy, and there's like spores that come out of it. And if you're a lady nearby,
just like, get away from me, Boris, you giant pollinator.
Put a hairnet on.
Yes.
Hansel and Gretel accuse witch of landlordism, complained Gretel the charming cottage with ensuite oven. And I read this as an aside and thought, actually, an ensuite oven, wouldn't that be brilliant? Because who doesn't wake up in the morning and this charming cottage with ensuite oven turned out to be a dilapidated hovel with poor Wi-Fi and walls riddled with asbestos instead of gingerbread. Although asbestos would be good if you had an oven in the ensuite, wouldn't it? Because it would stop the heat getting through to you. So actually,
that's why they put them like that. That's why they built them like that back in the day. It made sense. Where I work, the room I work in is actually filled with asbestos. All the walls are filled with asbestos, and it's relatively safe. It's stable, but it's too expensive to remove. But every time there's a fire alarm at work, I am so casual about walking out the building because I'm like, I'm the only one who's safe here.
And finally, because I love a callback, and it's not like this gag has already been given away by somebody else in the room mentioning no names. Environmentalists divided over good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did mention that earlier. And what I will do now is I will edit out my original reference, and that won't be there. But of course, then now we're left with me saying I'm going to edit out my original reference. And we've created what is called a time paradox scenario. And yeah, sorry about that. I thought that's a good line. Where have I heard that before? Now it was on NewsBiscuit. I'm only a casual reader of NewsBiscuit, I'll be honest. This month, Trevor Rudge is going to be sharing one of his favourite stories from the NewsBiscuit archive. Now, Trevor, you've co-written stories with Simon, I believe. He does your spelling. What's it like to be part of a comedy double act? And which of you two is the unfunny one?
Well, that's definitely me.
And how long into the double act did that dawning realization? There's this guy here. Eric Morecambe. He's really funny. And no. I'm probably more than Mike Winters to Bernie Winters. Probably. I had a bit of success on my own about 25 years ago, which I did nothing with. I was writing bits and pieces for Terry Wogan on his radio show. I've had a bit of a hiatus of writing, which frustrated my wife incredibly because I actually met her at one of these listener conventions. Is she then kind of like a fan of your writing? Is that how you met?
Yeah. So
she's really gutted that you stopped being like cool.
Basically.
I dated David Bowie and then he stopped recording music. Is that the
Correct.
kind of scenario?
Yes, that's exactly the scenario.
All the passion's gone out of the relationship instantly. Simon, now you obviously in the flush of kind of sexual excitement with Trevor. You need to be aware that at some point he's going to stop writing again, and you're going to find him a lot less attractive. Don't make the same mistakes that Trevor's wife did. So, what story have you got for us then, Trevor?
Right. Well, I went for a festive one. I went through the 15 years of typos, and I thought this one, it's man looks forward to using all 12 place settings in dishwasher on Christmas Day. But it had rung 4 times last Christmas Day, and even though there were 4 of us, I was probably mistaken, and I must have inadvertently bought a 1 place setting model.
It's like when you get out the best china, isn't it? Or the best cutlery. My mum still has best cutlery. For what? What the fuck? Who has best cutlery?
What's the scenario as well that the best china comes out? I mean, is it one of these sort of things where, when people do those kind of fantasy dinner parties, I'd have at my dinner party Gandhi and Muhammad Ali and the Queen. Is it then the best china comes out?
Out for Gandhi. What kind of animal are you? if it's John Major and Edwina Curry, I would definitely get my best china out, and we would have soft-boiled eggs just out of principle.
Our next round is a true biscuit, where a panel has to guess which is the real headline and which is the fake one.
Christmas with the in-laws makes it more likely that you will shit yourself.
What? What?
Christmas.
What, as in shit yourself is in like fear, or shit yourself as in I've lost control of my bowels because I don't like their cooking?
Christmas with the in-laws makes it more likely that you will defecate yourself.
Oh, right.
Well,
okay.
that silenced everybody. Good, excellent.
Well, no, we're all a bit worried because a lot of us are going to see our in-laws over Christmas, and now we haven't packed appropriate diapers.
Studies have been undertaken examining and I enjoy this phraseology in the story, examining the Yule logs of people Christmas both with and without their in-laws. And researchers discovered that the stress of visiting your partner's parents can alter the bugs that live in your gut. They have more of that bacteria in their festive Mr. Hankies than those with their own families. I basically picked it just because of the many and different ways of referring to terms.
You see, I think what's happened is there's a researcher who has shat himself on Christmas Day, and in order to provide cover for himself, fabricate an entire set of research data to suggest that everyone else is shitting themselves. Because I'm fairly sure I haven't succumbed to this at Christmas. I haven't felt a loosening of the bowels. If anything, I felt a tightening of the sphincter when I'm in the presence of my in-laws.
I don't understand how you start this survey. Like, how do you get participants? How do you then sort of monitor it?
Yeah, you sort of mosey up to people in the new year and say, did you have a lovely Christmas? Yes. Did you cheat yourself? Yeah. And then they sort of shyly admit that they did. You went, don't worry about it. No. We've all done it. We've all been doing it. Everyone's shitting themselves. It's been a brown Christmas.
I mean, in order to verify the results, they have to expose an individual to placebo in-laws as well.
Yes, fake in-laws. Yeah, you're not. Your marriage wasn't real. It's a sham marriage. Yes. For 20 years, this guy believed he was married, and it was all part of an elaborate science experiment to prove that
he didn't shit himself on Christmas Day. There you go. You see, it's a beautiful thing.
The thing I would say is true of all in-laws that I've ever experienced in any shape or form is most of them usually have toilets that don't flush very well. This is very common theme. And you get to the house, and then usually there's some palaver of like, don't use this particular toilet, only use it for number ones and not number twos kind of thing. And you're like, what? How do you function the rest of the year where this toilet can only use it on a Wednesday and at midnight? Otherwise, and so I can imagine that would be a perfect shitstorm, wouldn't it? Of you desperately don't cheer or boo, just let that pun just drift past. Don't acknowledge it, because it wasn't very good.
You end up like that girl on the first date who threw her poo out the window, and then it ended up in between the two panes of glass in the window. And then
I love this story. Yeah,
and then she got stuck.
What?
Everything about it is amazing.
What? Hold on, this is another true thing.
This is a true story.
She's on a date and she hurls shit out the window. Who does? What's that? What's that?
She's on a date.
I'm not young anymore. Do their young kids do that now?
She's on a date, her poo won't flush, so she throws it out the window, but it lands in between two panes of glass. So then she tries to get it out from in between the two panes of glass, and she gets stuck. And there are photos of this poor woman stuck between two panes of glass, and there's just poo at the bottom.
I assume photographs taken by the boyfriend.
Yeah, well, he's not the boyfriend. It's a first date, and the woman has just thrown a poo in between his feet.
Oh no, he would become the boyfriend. I think after that you'd have to date her. Just out of you think, oh, she's been through a lot. You could have to. You could. She's suffered enough. You'd have to go. I'll marry you now.
I'd like to think that's true.
You'd like to think it's true.
I'd like to think that's true.
See, many people might just say true or false. Liking that sort of thing, that's niche. Okay.
False. I've always enjoyed Christmas with Michelle's family, so I'm gonna.
You didn't know where you were going with that sentence, did you? You know, I've always enjoyed. Oh shit! What am I going to say? Not shitting with my in-laws? No, shitting with my in-laws. Which sounds better? Which sounds worse? None of it sounds good, Simon. You're not getting invited there at all this Christmas.
I think it's false.
Because
I don't think it's
the girl got stuck in between two pieces of glass, and that's
It is in fact true. The reason I picked this story is because the piece of research, it begins, Christmas and feces appear to have a traditional yet mysterious connection. That is magic of Christmas right there.
Wow.
Simon.
Man called Jesus says he'll become a monk to make up for smashing a chapel's stained glass window. This story does not come from the Bible.
We have to say that in every NewsBiscuit episode, actually. whatever the headline. That is.
Including that last headline.
We've got it on the website. Other people have disclaimers about fictitious characters. We just say it's not from the Bible.
I can't swear it's not the same Jesus, but I don't think it is.
I really hope that the story is linked to, do you all remember that painting of what was maybe Jesus or was maybe somebody like Jesus, somewhere, I think in Spain, and an elderly lady went to try and restore it and instead turned it into a monkey, and it remains the greatest news story of all time. I don't know if it's related. I just wanted an excuse to raise the story.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I mean, if anyone is listening to this, they should Google the image and how it transformed from, yes, I think it was Jesus in the end character looks like something from Planet of the Apes. It's an amazing transformation.
To make up for it, he says he'll become a monk to
That's quite extreme, isn't it? Would you not just say, I'd say sorry. I wouldn't say I will become a monk and have a life of celibacy, but I mean, we're all different. I'd just say sorry and leg it, but you know. Maybe he was just in an unhappy marriage and this was like a really convenient excuse. Right, that's it, I've broken a window. Okay, so I'm going to have to leave you now, become a monk. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. It's penance. Maybe that's how it worked.
I mean, again, that feels like an overreaction.
Depends how bad that marriage is. If you're married to Edwina Curry, then I'm just saying, you know, salmonella and all your eggs.
What country did this take place in?
It was in America. So.
Oh, well, then it makes sense.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, once you know that you missed out that salient fact.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll have to find out true or false in this. Not we're saying that true or false does Jesus exist. Can I just make that absolutely clear? I don't want anyone writing in or setting fire to any crosses on my lawn.
I think that's true.
True.
Yeah.
I think false because I have seen the film Sister Act, and that is quite a commitment to like being a monk is like being a nun. That is a lot of like getting up early and singing, and I just think that is an overreaction. So I think it's false.
It's true.
It's true.
It
Jesus does exist. Thank you for clearing that one up there. There you go. NewsBiscuit answers all your theological questions. Right, Kit, tell us your story.
Artist who squirts paint with his eyes destroys canvases to create NFTs.
I mean,
There's a whole set of words I don't even understand there. So there's a guy who's squirting paint out of his eyes.
Out of his eyes.
Oh, God.
Is he Jesus? He just goes around smashing in windows. This guy could squirt paint out of his eyes. He's surely the chosen one.
I'm not going to lie. I've seen one work of art and it's rubbish. So,
how much detail were you expecting with squirting paint from your eyes? It's not like you've got a brush to hand.
I was expecting it to be better than, say, an elephant when it gets given a paintbrush and some paint, but it's not.
Are those the only two types of art you've ever seen, Kit? Is art painted by people with their eyeballs or paintings by elephants? Because I'm telling you now, there's other stuff out there.
It's got to be quite difficult to come up with a decent picture if your eyes are full of paint. I mean,
yeah, well, you can't see what you're doing, can you?
I see what you're doing. So, I think you're being a bit harsh on the guy.
And what? Sorry, what's an NFT?
It's a non-fungible token.
It's the word of the year. How come you didn't know that?
Where have you been?
I don't know. I'm still Googling porn about John Major and Edwina Curry from the 1990s. I don't know. What's a nun? Nuns again. What's a non-fundable token?
Non-fungible. So I don't really understand what fungible is, but the idea is that you have exclusive pieces of art. But you can easily just like cut and paste these. So people will go, I spent £1 million on this. And then people will cut and paste it and go, why did you do that?
Yeah. Surely the whole market is undermined by just screen grabs, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Can we get back to the paint squirting out of eyes because I feel the wrong part of the story. I think it's like a new James Bond supervillain. I feel really genuinely excited about this. I want to go and see a man squirt paint out of his eyes. I don't like art, but I feel like art was
But I do like squirting.
Paint out of his eyes. Just like how do you learn that? I mean, how does that happen? Do you fall head first in some paint and realize you can squirt up your eyes? Do you drink the paint? Definitely.
It's better than meeting your in-laws on Christmas.
It didn't go into great detail, but I just sort of saw him with sort of a lot of paint and then just kind of like expelling it out of his tear ducts.
How do we know it wasn't just on his face and he's just...
One of my favourite things is the fact that he's destroying the canvases by blowing them up. Like he's literally getting like explosives and blowing the canvases up.
Now, is he doing that deliberately or is he doing that by accident because there's paint in his eyes?
Just like wandering around like a cartoon. Oh,
yeah. Lands on one of those plungers that you have in Acme written on the bottom. Yeah. Mrs. Wrenfoe, is that true?
100%, it absolutely is. I think I was probably at drama school with somebody who did that. I am completely into this, and I feel like I've watched The Shark Is Broken. That was a good play, but I feel like this might be the next great piece of theatre that I see. So I'm completely on board with this. I think it's true.
What kind of drama school did you go to?
I mean,
I could sing, I could dance, I could do this.
It was nicely decorated.
I'm not sure it was. Painting with the eyes, yeah, that's true.
I think it's true as well because, didn't Jerry Anderson blow all his puppets up after Thunderbirds?
That was to shut them up because of historical sex crimes.
It's true. He has sold one of his NFTs for £70,000.
To Mrs. Wrenfoe, isn't it? Mrs. Wrenfoe's bought it. Oh my God, we're bankrupt.
they're just so cool. I mean, come on.
Trevor, what's your one?
Man on mission to collect chip from every Weatherspoon in UK. He coats them in Vaseline and wax and then places...
Look, leave it there, Trevor. Don't tell us what he does next. We know some people pour paint out of their eyes. I don't want to know where he puts the chip.
Puts them in a Panini sticker album type thing, where you keep your...
The pandemic sent us over the edge. We're all collecting fucking chips and putting them in wax and Vaseline.
It's because everyone misses going to the pub. It's like a book of remembrance. Is there much variation as well in chips from one of the... What am I saying? They're chips. But they're not... Chips aren't like snowflakes, though, are they? It's like every chip is different.
Under microscopic analysis, I'm sure every chip is unique.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful, Trevor. and they all deserve love, don't they? Bring in the Vaseline. Yes, we've established that.
Is he the only guy that does this, or are there others? And then, like, if you get duplicates from one pub, can you do swaps with someone else?
Gonna meet in a darkened car park and just exchange chips.
Is that how you used to swap your Panini stickers?
Yes, at docking sites. Yes.
What a strange past you had.
I'll swap you Alan Shearer in 5 minutes with his girlfriend.
I've never heard anything truer in my life. This is so feasible it hurts.
It sounds like something Trevor would make up. I say it's false.
He speaks of bitter experience. Has Trevor tried to lure you with Vaseline chips before?
I mean, I just really want a chip, to be honest with you. But I think that the lockdown has made people do strange things, so I'm going to completely go for 100% true.
It is, in fact, true.
Yeah.
And his mission is to go to all 925 Weatherspoons and collect a chip from each one. And I think he's up to 38 so far.
Oh, that's pathetic.
He hasn't even started, really. All he has is...
I was expecting it to be like 800 in.
Yeah. I mean, really, they've just reported a man with a dream rather than someone who's actually accomplished anything. He's at the foot of his Everest.
It doesn't even have a bowl of chips, does it?
No.
Finally, and really finally, this has been a long one. Finally, this brings us to the selection panel for the new Man United manager, or our Magic 8-Ball round.
The Magic 8-Ball!
Each of our guests is going to give us their predictions for next month's news. So, panelists, What headlines can we look forward to? Simon, what are your predictions?
Nadine Dorries will downsize both Channel 4 and Film 4 and sell them off as petty fours.
Nadine Dorries' social media hijacked by left-wing snowflake trolls.
Greek alphabet runs out of letters.
Yeah.
Ambulance waiting times to be measured by advent calendar.
So, and that brings us to the end of the episode. And I can reveal this month's winner is Peppa Pig for being the most coherent thing Boris has ever talked about. I'd like to thank our panel, Mrs. Rrenfoe.
Hello, goodbye. Sorry, I was
What was that? You had one job.
Well, I thought I did a bad job at the beginning, but there you
Yes. Yeah, we're keeping this. Right, okay. Simon,
go. Goodbye.
Trevor Rudge,
Goodbye, Rob.
and Kit Caboodle.
Bye.
And I leave you with these headlines. Inflation rise, welcomed by hot air balloonists. NHS added to Black Friday sale.
Ooh.
And Bethlehem innkeeper vows to improve after 1-star rating.
You've been listening to NewsBiscuit. NewsBiscuit is not only free for all readers, but we also accept submissions from any budding satirists, young or old. Visit newsbiscuit.com to submit headline stories and to support new writers.
NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
I've also this week I've been watching the Beatles documentary. There's a scene, isn't there, where Paul McCartney just sort of improvises for a few seconds, and bang, there's this masterpiece song. So I'm thinking that's us tonight, or it's 4 Yoko Onos. I'm not sure. It could go either way. She sits there reading the newspaper. I don't think she split the Beatles up, but I don't think she helped. She's like, they've got this 12-day, is it 12-day, 20-day deadline to create this work of
It's like
genius?
18 days, isn't it, to get to a live show. Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, let's make stuff up. And she's just sitting there going, yeah, go on.
I saw a really nice picture. This is just a tiny segue of Paul McCartney's brother saying that he wasn't sure it had been captured, but at one point he was wearing an amazing suit and it got caught on film. But he decided because the camera was on him, he should do something. So he started playing the piano and realised that the lid was down. So there is a picture going around of Mike McCartney playing a closed piano. It's great.
That's so much.
If he could look more like the idiot son of the family. Paul mastered instruments straight away, whereas Michael never got the lid off.